be able to see us soon.
Yes.
Hello, and welcome to Time to Talk. I'm Argie Holliman, and I want to say Happy New Year. This is our first show of 2015, and we are so happy that you could join us once again. We have a wonderful show planned for you. As you may have heard, the movie Selma is out now, and it's about Dr. Martin Luther King, his life, and also that historic march on Selma back in the 50s. And this is a very important movie for all of us to see. And we have some people in our community who are sponsoring the movie from Partners for a Racism-Free Community. And they'll be calling in and telling us a little bit more about the movie and when it is and where it is and how you can participate. And in the meantime, we also have some very special guests from the Potter's House. The Potter's House is a school right here in our own Grand Rapids area, and it's quite a treasure. And we have the superintendent, and we also have students and alumni from the Potter's House. And we're going to start with the superintendent, Mr. John Boy. Mr. John Boy, it's good to have you with us today.
Thank you.
Yes.
Great to be here.
Okay. And we also have Rosario.
Rocio.
Okay. And Rosario is a alumni there. Mm-hmm. Okay. And Sam.
Yes.
Sam also is an alumni there. And first we're gonna find out about what these young people are doing, and they're doing a really good job of being active and pursuing their education even further. But Mr. Boy, tell us about the Potter's House. Now, you've been there 34 years. Is that when it started?
Yeah, Potter's House started 34 years ago. We had a program prior to Potter's House, which was called Kid Power, that went on 6 years before that. But we moved into the Roosevelt Park neighborhood after college, about 15 of us, just wanting to be involved in a missional way in a neighborhood, felt God was calling us there. We got involved with kids in a program called Kid Power that started in our house. And then one day, a pastor just challenged us to start a school. And we had never really thought of starting a school, although most of us were teachers. And he just said, I think it's God's timing for you to start a school. So we planned a school that would be a Christ-centered urban school for students that wouldn't have access normally to go to a private school. So we wanted it to be open to everyone, regardless of income, regardless of denomination or ethnic background, a small family-centered school that we would be able to reach out to kids from all backgrounds and connect them with a vision for their future. We started with 12 students in a church basement with 2 volunteer teachers. Our first 2 teachers, our founding teachers, Mark Van Zanten and Nelline Dimstra, both quit their jobs to teach for free. Mark taught for free for 5 years to get the school going, and Nelline Dimstra taught for free for 3 years, and for her that meant putting her house up for rent, quitting her job of 17 years, and moving into the neighborhood with friends and teaching for free, which was a huge risk, a huge challenge when we didn't know if this school was going to really make it. So we thought it would be a small school of 30 kids, but it's ended up being a small school of about 560 kids.
Wow.
And we now raise about $3.5 million a year on scholarship support for our students.
Okay.
And the whole vision is that students from every background can learn to be family together, and we can have high academics and a Christ-centered atmosphere with the hope that most of our students go to college. We have a nearly 100% graduation rate, and more than 90% go to college. And we've brought students along today that are example of the type of students that come to Potter's House, and they're here to share with you the visions for the future and what their experience has been like at the school.
Okay. You have a major commitment there from the teachers and from the parents and the students, it sounds like.
Right.
Tell us where this school is located. A lot of people say the Potter's House alone is somewhere on the west side.
Right. Yeah, we've been doing some pretty serious promotional work for 34 years, and still the main response we get is, where's Potter's House, or what is Potter's House? We're actually located in Roosevelt Park neighborhood. The elementary is on the corner of Clyde Park and Granville Avenue, just a couple blocks south of Hall Street by Cesare Chavez School. And the high school is on the corner of 28th Street in Byron Center.
Okay. Rosario, what grade did you start the Potter's House?
I attended the Potter's House my freshman year through my senior year. I graduated just this past May, and I am now going to Grand Valley State University to pursue a career as a physician assistant.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
What interested you in that field?
I've always wanted to be somewhere in something in the medical field. Since I was small, I always just saw the doctors and thought that would be a fun career to pursue in. And it was not until my senior year where I attended KCTC. It's this program where they get you hands-on on your career, and I liked what I did in that program. Like, we dissected and stuff, learn about like what physicians do daily, and that was very interesting. So that motivated me to like become a physician assistant.
It takes a lot of confidence to do what you're doing, and a lot of dedication too. How did Potter's House help you develop that?
Well, they always were there for me. They said like even if it's hard, like many people just quit. They always like just were there for me. Like, they prayed for me and saying that I got it. You know, like, pursue your dreams, chase after your goals, and achieve something.
And we also want our viewers to know that they can call in and ask questions and make comments. And our live call-in number is 616-459-4881. Rosario, there's smaller classrooms, right? When you're there, does that help? Did that help you?
Yeah, that did help, because I came from a school where like there was like 30 kids or to 60 kids in the class, and the students used to talk a lot, and so that would distract me. And then when I went to the Potter's House, it was like different, like 15 students in the class, so that engaged more the students, got more into the topic.
Help you to focus more.
Yeah, it did.
Okay, and Sam, welcome Sam to Time to Talk. Sam also is an alumni of the Potter's House. Tell me about yourself, Sam.
Well, I came to the Potter's House when I was in 8th grade. I came from a school where I was bullied a lot. I was known as the target kid, as they were so called. I was chased home with dogs. People would steal my lunch money. They would call me all sorts of names. And so one day, me and my mom just kind of showed up at Potter's House as my mentor. And as soon as I stepped in, I knew that something was different about the Potter's House. It was peaceful. It wasn't like your average school.
Okay.
And so I've been there ever since, graduated this past year, and now I'm going to GRCC to pursue a career in criminal justice.
And you had a lot of struggles when you first began.
Yes, ma'am. When I first began the Potter's House, it was my 10th grade year. I had cancer that showed up.
Oh, no.
And so that was one struggle. And the Potter's House really was there for me. They were more like my family.
Okay.
And they formed around me, they prayed for me, they encouraged me, motivated me to kind of keep going. And so that's what really kept me going forward through those hard times.
Yeah.
And then grades fell sometimes, and so they kind of brought me up and kept me going up, so to speak.
So the Potter's House is not like the average school.
Not like your average
Not
school.
for you.
Teachers.
It was like a family, extended family.
Definitely.
People
teachers
that you could
definitely
go
care.
to. And also the Potter's House is Christian based?
Yes, definitely. They don't just tell you about God. They actually want you to have a relationship with them and encourage you to have a relationship with them. When I was in high school, I was a discipleship leader. And so being a discipleship leader, you are to be an example to the underclassmen of what a good relationship with God is like. And so that all started when I came to the Potter's House, because at my other school, I wasn't allowed to express my love for God. And this really allowed me to open up and kind of explore the gifts that God had given me.
Okay. And then, so what do you hope to do in your career?
I hope to, once I finish my degree at GRCC, transfer to Grand Valley and become a federal agent with the CIA.
Okay.
Big dreams.
We better watch ourselves.
Yes.
That's a good goal. That's very interesting. That's very good. And in a minute, we're going to talk to some more alumni from the Potter's House. And also, you can call us 616-459-4881. Mr. Boyd, you must be very proud of these students.
I'm extremely proud of them and their stories and just being able to be part of it. And Rocio here, you have to want to go to our high school to get in, to get accepted. But Rocio didn't actually want to go. Her parents more or less made her go. She really wanted to be in a bigger school and with her friends. And what happened with that?
Yeah, so I was, planning which high school I was going to, and I really wanted to go to Union High School or Ottawa Hills High School just because all my friends went there. And my father, he's like, no, I discovered this new school. I like it because it's Christ-centered. And I was like, but it's a small school. I want to go to a bigger school with all my friends. And my dad was like, no, Christ goes first, and I want you to go there because I don't like what you've been experiencing here. In your old school, like a lot of drama and people getting they were smoking during class. The teachers didn't really care about you. And so my dad is like, this school, I've done some research, this school is it's Christ-centered, so I'm pretty sure you're going to like it. And so I was like, no, I don't want to go there. And so in the first day, I didn't talk to nobody because I just I want to get out of here. I want to get kicked out so I could go to the school I wanted to go.
I want to get kicked out, okay.
And then now, reflecting back to those years that I've been in the Potter's House, I was like, I'm grateful for the choice that my dad made.
Yeah.
Because it was a good benefit going there.
So it's great to be part of those kind of stories. That's the thing that makes us so excited to be part of stories like this of students of Rocio's friends that she used to hang around with. None of them graduated from school. So even though she didn't want to come to Potter's House, was dragged, she looks back 4 years later and realizes she's going to college and her friends haven't graduated. So
good. Anything you want to say about Sam?
Sam was just an amazing person. I think the metaphor for Sam is he was so mercilessly bullied in a really good school. I mean, it can happen anywhere. It was a great school, but it just didn't work for him. He was being bullied like crazy, very tense and upset, comes to Potter's House and has a smile on his face the whole time. He graduated with our senior class, of course, and during graduation, he was the choir director for the senior class. So there he was, a big smile on his face, leading the whole class in their closing song. And so from being bullied to be accepted and a leader, he was the 10 man in our school play.
Yes.
And he's a singer, he's a dancer, he can do everything, and he's just been able to blossom at the school. So.
Okay, wonderful. Well, I want to thank both of you for being on Time to Talk. And we're going to have some of your colleagues come on and share their story now. You're watching Time to Talk, and we're going to talk to some more alumni from the Potter's House. We'll be right back. Good job.
You're watching Time to Talk with Argie Holliman on GRTV.
I'm Simon Cowell for Peter. Far be it from me to be critical, but I find it really appalling that this year thousands of dogs will die of heat stroke inside parked cars. Their people thought that little errand would only take a minute, or it wasn't that hot. But delays happen, and temperatures inside a car quickly rise in summer, even when the window's cracked. Never, ever leave your dog inside a parked car. Your dog, idolizes you. In warm weather, keep him safe at home.
Never look a howler monkey in the eye. We built the entire library out of recycled bottles. Fried ants are delicious.
We finished a clinic in a rainstorm.
Really? That was a confidence builder. My students actually ended up teaching me. So I learned this dance. I'll show you this dance.
In la keg, a la king.
The classroom was more of a class tent. I think managing a sales team is tough. Try working with 5 different villages. My alarm clock was a rooster. Beans for breakfast, beans for lunch, beans for dinner. We ate a lot of beans. I learned a 3rd language.
My seatmate on the bus was a goat.
Always include the village elders. Always. My morning commute was by canoe. After 2 months, I was ready to quit, but after 2 years, I didn't want to leave. I didn't know I had it in me.
Turn 2 years of service into a lifetime of experience. To all the Peace Corps volunteers, past, present, and future, thank you for your service to your country and the world.
You're watching Time to Talk with Argie Holliman on GRTV.
It takes more than perfect balance.
More than a great pair of legs.
More than a good sword.
It takes more than just talent.
More than the will to win.
It takes you.
It takes your donations to support the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic teams. And now you can donate on Facebook.
He's done it! The U.S. has done it!
Support the U.S. Olympic team on Facebook and donate to make Olympic dreams come true.
It's the talk of the town in Grand Rapids. Time to Talk with Argie Holliman on GRTV Grand Rapids and WKTV Wyoming Kentwood.
Today is our first day of the new year for Time to Talk, our first show of the season. So welcome. We are live and you can give us a call at 616-459-4881. 459-4881 if you would like to know more about the Potter's House, or maybe you've experienced the Potter's House and want to share that experience. Today we have some alumni. We had some earlier, and we've been joined by 2 additional alumni, and also Mr. John Boyd, who is the superintendent of the Potter's House. The Potter's House is right here in the Grand Rapids area. Now, Mr. Boyd, you serve all of the neighborhood or all of the city?
Yeah, when we started the Potter's House, we were focused on the Roosevelt Park neighborhood. Those were the students we were first working with, and our vision was to provide an alternative schooling situation for them that would be Christ-centered and a small family-centered school that we really could focus on a vision for education for them. And then that lasted like 1 year, and then the next year we received applications from all over the city and actually all over the world. So Gershom and John Vier here are from various countries in Africa, which they'll tell you about, Congo and Tanzania, and have lived in other countries as well. But we have about 30-some countries that our students have been physically born in, and then their ancestry goes to many more countries than that. So it has an international flavor for sure, which we never envisioned from the beginning. We basically thought we'd be a school that would be focused on just Roosevelt Park, but we've expanded to be a place that, from countries from all over the world.
Well, and as you mentioned that, Jean Vier,
yes.
Welcome to Time to Talk.
Thank you.
Now, you spent 14 years
yes.
in a refugee camp
yes.
in Tanzania.
Yes.
What was that like?
It was definitely hard. Well, I was actually born in Rwanda, 1994, and I think, as you all know, genocide started about 3 months, and my parents had to flee the country, and they went and they were settled in Tanzania, and since then, that's where I and my family lived for the next 14 years. And after 14 years, well, just a lot that went on in a refugee camp, as you can imagine, was difficult, you know, as far as food, sleeping. Well, it was not actually safe because it was not our country. A lot of stuff happened. I and my family came here in the United States 2007. And
how old were you?
I was just 14. Yes. And of course, I went to a school, but not for long because it was hard for me. I didn't speak a single word of English.
No English at all?
Nothing.
You did not speak English at all?
Nothing.
Okay, so you were starting school at age 14.
Yes.
Which was the very beginning for you.
Very beginning, yes.
Okay, and when you went to the Potter's house, what was that like?
It was like I found my second home, you know.
Okay.
I found my home, you know. Like, people were so nice, teachers. I feel like, you know, it was the greatest place to be, and it is. I found it was the greatest place to be. I worked hard, of course, not just because I wanted to, because my teachers, my classmates, they all pushed me. They were accountable to me, and I, you know, went to I went through Parish house by people who were around me.
Okay. So they really believed in you.
Yes, they did.
And encouraged you a lot.
Yes.
And now you've graduated from the Potter's house, and you're in what program?
I'm doing missions aviation at Cornerstone University. Yes.
Missions aviation?
Yes.
Okay. Flying planes and everything.
Yes.
Okay. What interested in you?
Well, living that life, I realized how people needed help. You know, I thought myself, if I can become transportation for those who are in need, like my plans is not just to become a missionary, but to fly or missionaries around the world where they needed to be. Because, like, in the refugee camp where I lived, if somebody would, like, you know, get sick and they need, like, help, and they need, like, to go somewhere far away, and there is no transportation available, like, it was like at the end of them. So I just always wanted, you know, to help people, and you know, I knew this was like the right path to go, so I can serve God through, you know, being a missionary and serve, you know, helping people like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, God bless you with that effort.
Thank you.
And then we also have, pronounce your name for me.
Gershom.
Gershom.
Yes.
Gershom. Welcome, Gershom, to
Thank
Time
you.
to Talk.
Thank you.
So you also were from a country in Africa?
Oh, yes.
For a long time?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Congo?
Yes.
From
I was born in Congo.
You were born
in South
in
Africa.
Congo.
Yes.
Okay. And then how long were you a refugee somewhere else?
Yes. I was a refugee in South Africa because I wasn't a full citizen. I was still considered a Congolese, although I lived there for many years. So I was born in Congo. My parents' tribes were two different tribes which hated each other. First of all, my dad was a Muslim. My mom was a Christian. With those two, they don't match. And the funny thing, my dad was also one tribe from Congo, and my mom was a mixed tribe, which they saw each other as a disease or as a disgrace. So my parents getting married was a disgrace thing to do. But you know, nobody can stop love. There's no law against love. And
right,
my parents went on and they had me. So by the time I was born, I was a total rejection from both families because I am a seed of an enemy to each tribe. And so so they wanted me eliminated. They didn't want me alive. But likely one of my dad's uncle was like, this kid does not deserve this. He did not choose to be born. He did not choose to be of a mixed tribe. Give him a chance. he took me in, but for him taking me in, it's made others around him, his own family hated him because he went against everybody's will, you know, like accepting something that is seen as disgrace into the family. So he accepted me. And at the age of 4, that's when the tragedy came in, because somebody was trying to eliminate me, but he trying to protect me. My foster dad, who took me in, tried to protect me, jumped for the bullet, and he passed away. So that was been the struggle for me as a young man, feeling like I got rejected as a baby, and now genocide came in and stuff. Now I'm rejected by a tribe, by my own country. So
it's hard to know where you belong.
Yes, and so we went to South Africa, where we lived for a couple of years, and hope started to begin, because I'm like, oh, right here, there's nobody trying to force me, oh, you're this tribe, you're that tribe. And then in 2008, xenophobia took place, where citizens of the country started hating on foreigners. And so that's when other foreigners, including me, who were victims to this xenophobia, when people started getting killed because they were not full-born South Africans. And so being the victim, we had to find a place to go where we could be safe, because my life, I didn't go back to my country because families hate me, tribes hate me. So I have to go I have to go to another place. So that's where America came in. Hey, we can take you in. And so that's when hope again started. And my first week, I heard of the Parish House. This lady called Stephanie, she is a professor at Calvin College. She took me in, and she took me to the Parish House. I remember the first day, I spoke English, because in South Africa,
you already spoke English.
Yeah.
So that at least helped a lot.
Yeah.
And what grade were you in when you got to the Parish House?
I went in as a junior, but that's when the major problem was, because in South Africa, I had to drop out of school because of xenophobia. I wasn't safe going to school, so I had to drop out. So I was 2 years late. I dropped out for 2 years. I was off school. And so going to the Parish House as a junior, that's when I saw the love of the teachers, because I remember teachers would push me in, like, Gershom, you want to go to college, you want to be the difference in your family, you want to be the light in your family, and you want to give them hope. Push in. This essay, you need to put more thought into it. You can do more. And they pushed me hard, so I went hard for 2 years. Now, this is a person who did not have background, like really good education, because of dropping out and dropping in.
You put a lot into it for those 2 years.
2 years, and I had to earn enough credit to go to college, and I started working hard, and for the help of the teacher, encouragement, and putting me to the back at Gershom, you can do this, you can do this. All believed in me, and I did it, and I went through, and that was amazing, really.
Where are you now?
Right now, I'm at Cornerstone University.
And what are you majoring in?
I'm majoring in business, and thinking of minoring or also double majors in ministry, so that I can do both.
Okay. Mr. Boy, I don't know if you've already done this or not, but your alumni students need to be going into the schools and motivating our young people who have had privilege all their life and know how important education is.
Exactly. That's one of the beautiful things about having students from all over the world. And it's not just like John Vere has been in a refugee camp for 14 years, so yes, we're helping him get an education, but the perspective that he and Gershom bring to the student body, along with a lot of students like them that have experienced things like them, when your typical American is worried about getting an iPad or, the latest technology or whatever, and maybe upset because their parents won't get them that, and then you have perspective of somebody that's been in a refugee camp for 14 years, or Gershom his parents had to give him away just so he could live. His foster father murdered trying to save his life, fleeing to South Africa. When they're sharing their stories, and yet stories of faith, because these guys are some of our strongest followers of Jesus in the high school. So they bring such a rich perspective. And so it's just an amazing education that our students can get as they're learning from Gershom and John Vere and students like that, and as they're learning from the other students in the school as well. So it's a great experience.
Yeah. We want our viewers to know that you're watching Time to Talk. We're live today on Wednesday, January 14th, 2015. So you can call us 616-459-4881. Mr. Boy, what would you like to add about John Vere?
Well, when I first met John Vere in 7th grade, he didn't speak a word of English. The only word he knew really was soccer. And the first thing we did together was go buy some soccer shoes so he could play. And he told me early on when he started to speak English that he was going to go to a college. And he named one that was pretty difficult to get into and to succeed at. And I thought, well, I hope so.
Okay.
But his determination and perseverance, he did just that. You know, he's at Cornerstone and working hard, and yeah, it's an amazing story. From, if you can, you know, it's hard to get over thinking about 14 years. He never would have dreamed in his beginning years that he'd be in college today studying aviation. So,
it's amazing.
But I think his spirituality really is the strongest thing about John Vier. He's definitely a person that pursues God with his whole heart. It's been a great help to our student body.
And what about Gershom?
Gershom was very shy, as you probably noticed.
Yeah, right.
He just lights up every room that he's in, and from the minute that he arrived at Potter's House, he's been a leader, and he's a leader socially, spiritually. It's just a privilege. When you think about the suffering he's been through, the fact that he might not have even been able to be alive today, both tribes trying to kill him, and fleeing for his life, and now at Cornerstone University, it's just something that you can hardly wrap your mind around. And he's going to be, you know, serving others as he already is doing, and yeah, he's on the road to his vision and his dreams that he never thought he could accomplish. So.
Okay, well, Javier, Jean Vier,
Yeah.
and Gershom, want to thank you for being on Time to Talk. And we still have more to go. We're going to talk to Jorge as well. But let's look at some pictures here of the Potter's House, different pictures that you've taken over the years. You're watching Time to Talk. Mr. Boyd, you could tell us about what we're seeing.
This was the Roosevelt Park neighborhood that we moved into. We felt God was calling us to move into in 1975, 40 years ago this spring. And it seemed kind of daunting. We were all from the suburbs, and of course college graduates wanted to change the world, and this is where we felt God calling us to.
40 years, 45?
40 years this
40.
spring, yes. So they're going to do more.
And we'll go to the next picture. And now you have a school building. That kind of was like a house, kind of?
This is what Potter's House would have never started unless somebody came up with the idea, why don't we just ask our neighbors over for Sunday night supper and sing some songs. So we tried a lot of things to get involved in the neighborhood, but the thing that worked was just asking our neighbors to come over. And when that happened, kids started coming. We didn't expect to be working with kids because they're all teachers. We had our classrooms of our own. I was teaching at Grand Rapids Public Schools. But all these kids came, and before we knew it, we had 150 kids. And these
It's
are just
the
pictures
talk of the town
the
in
house
Grand
that I still
Rapids.
live in today.
Time to talk with
75 kids were coming to this house every week for supper, singing, crafts, and Bible lessons. And then we spilled over into 3 houses and ended up with 150 kids for the first 6 years. And that program went on for 30 years. It was adopted by Roosevelt Park Church. And here's Marcy Bolema Piper and myself on the top, working with the kids in Kid Power.
Do you have ESL programs?
We have a very strong English language learner program. We can take kids like Gershom, and well, Gershom spoke English, but we take students with absolutely no English, and we have a 5-year program. They can come in high school, no English at all in 5 years, college ready. If they take a couple summers, and you know, we use the Spalding method. It's a very powerful program to go from no English to fluency. Some of our students within 18 months are speaking before our banquets.
Wonderful.
Not speaking in English when they first come, and now being able to speak in front of a crowd. So yeah, we have ESL all the way from preschool all the way through 12th grade.
Okay, wonderful. And we're going to go back to some of the pictures, but right now we want to introduce Jorge to our program. And if you're just tuning in, we are talking about the Potter's House, which is right here in Grand Rapids, right on Granville, off of Granville. off of Granville. Beautiful school, went there for a tour and everything, and the students were just really awesome. They were really engaged. Every class that I went to, they were all engaged and happy and productive, and then they would come and tell me what they were doing in the class. They had different students assigned to that job, to welcome visitors and to tell them what particular project they may be working on that day. I thought that was really nice. Let's introduce Jorge. Jorge, how are you?
Good, and you?
Good, good. Welcome to Time to Talk. You're an alumni also of the Potter's House. When did you go there? What grade?
I started going there when I was in 8th grade. I switched over schools until I graduated in 2009. My mom chose Potter's House because I live in the neighborhood, and I also was looking for a school that would challenge me. The previous school where I was going to, I felt like the teachers, some of them did care, but others did not. And then there was just a lot of things going on, like gangs, violence in the school, and that's not what I wanted for my education. I wanted to learn, and so I came one day, I told my mom, I really want to go to college, and by me staying in that school, I don't see any hope for me to go to college. So that's when we made the decision to look for schools, and Potter's House was just around the corner.
Literally
Yes.
around the corner, yes. And what principles did they help you to develop in yourself?
A lot. I say that Potter's House does build the foundation in all students. They are not there. The teachers are not there just pushing us academically, but they're letting us know that they're there for us in case we need to talk to them, whether it be about school, anything that's going on at home, or just sit down and talk for 5 minutes. So that really helped me out. I knew that I can come to them with a question, any concern. I had several teachers who were like, Jorge, you got this. You need to be in AP classes. And I was like, if you think that I'm able to do it, I will give it a try. So I really like that motivation. They push us to levels that, we didn't think we can do.
Okay. And where are you now, Jorge?
Well, I'm very happy to say that, recently I graduated from Grand Valley State in their nursing program.
In the nursing program,
yes,
all right. That is not easy.
No, not easy at all.
That is challenging.
It is,
yeah.
It is. Lots of nights, staying up, studying, and going to clinicals after being in school, for 8 hours. Then you have to wake up in the morning and do your clinical shift.
That's hard. Are you the first person in your family to graduate college?
Yes, I am the first one in my family to graduate college, and for me that was an honor. I really wanted to send a message to my family that if I can do it, they can too. So I'm paving the way for my siblings, and hopefully they see my example and follow through as well.
What do you say to young people who say, well, I can't do it. I just can't.
What I say is that, you need to believe in yourself, because you honestly, you can do it. It all just takes determination and just be persistent. Nothing in life is easy, but if you really want it, you will achieve it. Just a few years ago, I was like, no, I'm not gonna go to college. But after going to Potter's House, I got so much power in me that I was like, yes, now, I'm capable of going to college. So before, going to college was just a dream. Now I can say that it's a reality, that I have, reached my dream. And I'm happy to say that I'll be starting a job at Spectrum next month.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. That's education in action. People can see for real. Okay, here's a young man, and he made it happen for himself. I can make it happen for myself.
Absolutely.
Yes. Mr. Boy, anything you want to say about Jorge? I know you got a lot to say about Jorge.
Well, I'm very proud of him, of course. He's an extremely hard worker, And so even when he was in school, I'd go to Little Caesars sometime, and there he was behind the counter, you know, earning money to go to Grand Valley. And then later on, Chase Bank, I'd go there, and there he is behind the counter there working. So he's always had this determination and this work ethic. And basically, he's just somebody that's just really, really worked hard and stayed the course, and here's the result of it. But he's not done yet. That's the other thing. He's, he's going to work on a master's degree in a couple years, and so he's just, first he has to pass his boards or whatever they're called in the next couple weeks, and then take a little rest, and then start on his master's degree. So.
Okay, you can do it. You're not letting any barriers stand in your way.
No, not at all.
That's good. That's really good to see. Mr. Boyd, tell us about the curriculum, and if you have any extra curriculum programs, sports, or anything.
We have a very wide curriculum. It's centered on the urban child. So when we first started Potter's House, we set everything aside and designed everything around what the needs of the urban child are. And so we have a very strong science program, hands-on science. We teach Spanish in our school from preschool all the way through 12th grade. You can become very fluent writing and speaking Spanish. We have technology, of course. We have you have all the arts, music. A lot of that's through the shared time program with our local public schools that give us teachers for that. We have a very strong spiritual formation program. So we have Bible that's taught from all the way through, but we have times of worship. All of our kids are in small discipleship groups with an adult role model from 4th grade through 12th grade. The seniors lead discipleship groups at the high school. We do mission trips. We have a global perspective in terms of we're always involved in some other country. Right now we're working with a school in India, working with them, partnering with them, raising money and things for them. We worked with our daughter school in Tegucigalpa, Honduras. Some of our alumni started a school just like Potter's House. It's called Jubilee Centers International. They're in their 5th year. They have about 200 kids there. So we're involved with missional things. We have the ESL, which we already talked about. We have AP courses, sports program. I'm surprised you don't know that. We've won so many awards lately. It's unbelievable, right, Jorge?
Right.
Okay.
We didn't think we'd have even one. I'm just kidding. I didn't think we'd even have more than one trophy. When we first started our sports program, we didn't have uniforms. We just wore T-shirts and outdated shorts. And we
you made it do what it do.
We brought them there in an old van with a mirror taped on with duct tape. And now
but it worked.
Now we're winning district championships. We've won in soccer, basketball, girls and boys.
All right. So quite a wide curriculum.
Yep.
We have a caller, and you're watching Time to Talk. And if you'd like to call, our number is 616-459-4881. And we're talking to the superintendent of the Potter's House and also alumni of the Potter's House. Right now, our alumni is Jorge. Hello, caller. Are you there? We're ready for you. Let's see if we can get that caller. Hello, caller, are you there? Hello? Okay. So won a lot of championships and everything like that. And it seems like you start students on that college track early.
Right.
And that's really important that they start thinking about it, right, Jorge?
Yes.
And believing that they can do it and planning for it. Yeah.
Right. We do a lot of things to prepare them for college. It starts way in the early grades when we bring in, we call it Professional Day. We bring in people from all different types of professions, come and talk to our students, talk about how they, what they love about their job, what their job involves, what it takes to prepare yourself for a position like that, what are the challenges, the joys, and then back it all the way down to if this is what you want, what do you need to be doing right now? What do you need to be doing in 7th grade and 8th grade to be preparing for that? And so we're just always putting before the students role models from all different ethnic backgrounds so that they can see people just like them, so they can get that dream solidified within them. And you know, because for a lot of our students, education didn't work out for their parents. Some of them didn't have any opportunities for education. We had one family that the mother only had 3 years of schooling in a small village, and her daughter becomes valedictorian and then graduates from Grand Valley. You know, it's like,
isn't that
or
something?
with Carolina, just graduated as a MD from MSU, and in one generation, and now she's working in the first of 5 years of surgery in Arizona. So we keep building those things into students because it may not have been the reality for their parents or their relatives.
But
and
you
in
try
fact-
to make it a reality for them. Let them
Exactly.
know this is something they can do. Let's try that caller again. Hello. Hello.
This is Lisa Mitchell.
Okay.
I can hear.
So that's a little bit of technology there. Things work, things don't work. Where did you put your degree, Jorge?
So, after graduating from Grand Valley, I will be taking my state boards, but I had the opportunity to do my clinical leadership at Spectrum Butterworth ED. And after my clinical, they seen potential in me and decided to offer me a position there.
Okay, all right, that's good. And also you all have very good teachers, but also a lot of good volunteers. I see that too. When I visited there, my friend Linda Gordon showed me around, and she works there too as a volunteer recruiter, coordinator. And if people want to volunteer, what should they do and what opportunities are available?
We love having volunteers. It's so important. That's part of building vision into the students. The more adults they have mentoring and tutoring and working with them, just a smiling face, a hug in the hall or whatever, it all adds up. So the school itself, 241-5202, just call 241-5202, talk to Linda Gordon. We need help as tutors, mentors, people that work as classroom aides. There's people that come in and fold our mailers that we send out to donors. There's people that work on our building. We have needs in all kinds of areas for volunteers, and there's room for everyone at the Potter's House.
Okay. And the school is tuition-based, but no one's turned away because of their financial need. Is that correct?
Right. We do have a tuition, and we take families from all economic levels. So our tuition is probably similar to a lot of other private schools at the top level, and if people are at that level economically, we expect them to pay it. But most of our families can't do that. In fact, the priority of our school is neighborhood, low income, and minorities, and so we've specialized. We've turned away hundreds of families that could pay full, and for those families that don't have other opportunities, don't have access to Christ-centered schools. So we base their tuition on income, and so it goes anywhere from full rate down to $570 per family. So you can send 7 kids, or how many you had in your family?
I have eight siblings.
So you can send eight children for our lowest rate. Not saying that that's what they did, but so it's we try to make it very affordable. But our tuition covers only 20% of what we need to raise each year to run the school. So we do raise $3.4 million a year in scholarship support. But to help make that happen, we ask that all of our parents provide their own transportation, and that they all work service hours at the school. Our parents have to work 25 hours a year at the school, and they must come to parent-teacher conferences. If you don't come to conferences, if you don't want to be involved as a parent, it's probably not going to be the place for you. So there's a lot of things that our parents do to help make the school work. So there's a very strong parent commitment, as well as paying based on what you can afford.
Okay. We're talking about the Potter's House, and we're going to take a break right now, and we'll be right back with Mr. Boy and Jorge. You're watching Time to Talk.
You're watching Time to Talk with Argie Holliman on GRTV. It's the talk of the town in Grand Rapids. Time to talk with Argie Holliman on GRTV Grand Rapids and WKTV Wyoming Kentwood.
Welcome back to Time to Talk. I'm Argie Holliman, and you can watch Time to Talk every second and fourth Wednesday at 8 p.m. right here on GRTV and WKTV Comcast Cable 25. Right now, you have to have Comcast to watch, so mark that down. And if you don't have Comcast, go to a friend's house and watch, because you don't want to miss what's coming up in 2015. We are here. We are here. Let's see if somebody's here for us. Hello.
Hello.
Okay. How are you? Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I'm very good. How are you doing?
Good, good. You have a quick question or comment for us about the Potter's House?
Well, I don't. I was waiting to talk about Selma, but if you don't have enough time to do that, I understand. I think Potter's House is a great place, so I know a little bit about it and have some connections there, but I don't have a question for you.
Okay, we want to thank you so much for calling. Okay, so anything else you want to share about yourself, Jorge, and the importance of education for other people?
Yeah, what I would like to share is that, don't let anyone tell you that you are not good enough to go to school or especially to college because of maybe they're thinking about more your economic status, or they might tell you you're not smart enough. Because I did have some people in my life where they told me, hey, Jorge, you're dreaming too big. Can't you see yourself? Like, no one in your family has graduated. What makes you think that you're going to be able to graduate? And I just want them, all those, kids growing up, to know that they can dream big, because their dreams do come true. The only thing that you have to do is work hard for them, because nothing is easy. Just like with me, I had to, basically my 4 years in college were study, go to school, sleep, work. That was it. I did not go out and did partying or anything like that, because I had a goal, and that was, where I seen myself. I wanted to reach that goal, and so I put everything else aside. And
you were focused.
I was.
Your eyes were on the prize.
Yes.
Good. Mr. Boyd, any thing else that you want to share about the Potter's House as we wrap up today?
Well, it's just been an amazing experience for me. I've been there 34 years, and just seeing God take us from 12 students in the church basement to 560 students from all over the world. And it's stories like Jorge and Gershom and John Vier, Rocio, Sam, that make it all worthwhile. Just to be part of so many students that if they just had a chance. I'm connected with, I have a friend who's a principal of another school, and the whole time he went through high school, no one ever told me he could go to college. And so he just went off into the workforce, and within one day, he connected with college, he went back, and he's one of the best principals that you could find. And the thing is, how many people in our workforce aren't we missing? How many students aren't we losing, from backgrounds perhaps that have a 50% dropout rate, because he did as this principal, he's in a socioeconomic group that would have a 50% chance of not graduating. And you will be losing all those people with all those talents. And so no one even took the time to say you can go to college. And if they
just
had,
put that thought
you could have
in
been
their
that
head.
principal. And it's the same thing here. People are saying you can't do it, but you need people just to say, look, and what could have happened? He could have, now he's going to be a nurse, he's going to get his master's degree and keep working in the profession. He's going to be serving our state and country in that way. Every student that drops out of high school, we lose anywhere from $300,000 to $1 million over the course of their lifetime.
That's a lot
and
of money
instead,
and a lot of talent gone.
Hundreds of students like Jorge and Rocio who are going to have a whole different story. And that's our heart for cities all across the country, that we're losing millions of kids who could be.
Can you give us the number for the Potter's House?
241.
Because we want to capture some of those kids.
241-5202.
Okay.
2415
Mr. Boy
202.
and Jorge and Rosario and Sam and Jean-Pierre and Gershom.
Very good.
Did I miss anybody?
No.
Okay. We want to thank you all for being with us here on Time to Talk. We hope to see you again in 2 weeks. I'm Argie Holliman, and this has been Time to Talk. Thank you all, and I want a picture with all.